What's going on YouTube? My name is ginj-tcg or Chris, and today I'm back with another crazy rogue deck video, and today this one revolves around the Team Rocket's Weezing from the new Destined Rivals set. With the Explode Together Now attack, you do 40 damage plus 40 more, or not plus, it's times 40 more for each Pokemon in play with Koffing or Weezing. And since your opponent is more likely than not playing any Weezings, we want to make sure we can get some more damage down. So instead of capping at 260 or 160 with the Team Rocket's Weezings and Koffings, we also have the regular Weezings and Koffings. The single prize Weezing that isn't from the Destined Rivals set has an ability, Let's Have a Blast. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and KO'd by damage from your opponent, an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's attacking Pokemon is knocked out. So we have a phenomenal bench Weezing because it's not really good to boss KO because they can KO themselves. And from my late testing done with this deck, that actually proved to be very relevant and actually worked in my favor a couple times, which was kind of nice. Now, obviously, a downside to the deck is the 60 HP Koffing that this deck has, because everyone's thinking, well, Phantom Dive is just going to bully this thing. What do you do? When your opponent does that, well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, there's not much you can do. When you're playing a Weezing Koffing deck, you're here for the vibes, here for a good time, and you're probably not going to take this one to a regional, but that can't stop you from taking down cups, challenges, and locals with a deck like this, because it is pretty powerful. And you also do have Team Rocket's Koffing, where if this Pokemon is damaged by an attack, such as from Badu, which is super prevalent in the early game, you can search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon that have Koffing in their name. So if you already got a bunch of Koffings in your hand, like Team Rocket's Koffings in your hand, you could still take the other Koffing. So you could just load up the bench, get evolved early. Now, one of the things I definitely wanted to mention with this deck is that it's got some insane consistency with Janine's Secret Art as well as Binding Mochi to push you up to 280 damage from one attack, which is insane if you're looking to take big KOs on stuff like Pidgeot or a Charmed Iron Hands. We're also playing Turbo Energize to get the energy rolling, and for our ace spec, I figured, you know what, let's have some fun today. Let's play Survival Brace, because there is nothing more annoying than trying to KO 130 HP Pokemon that probably took 2 prizes on your Pheasantipity, then not killing it because of Survival Brace. So I said, you know what, we don't get to show off Survival Brace enough. It's basically just Pikachu X's ability and a tool card. This is the type of deck where we're gonna have some fun, play something a little different. And now to get into how the Pokemon search engine works, because you definitely don't see many decks like this. We got 4 Buddy-Buddy Poffins, which are self-explanatory, to get the Koffings out, but then we're playing 4 Great Balls and 4 Dusk Balls. The reason being is this deck plays an insanely high count of pretty much to 1 Pokemon, or just Weezings. So using Great Balls or Dusk Balls can be advantageous at different points. In case your opponent played an Iono and you know there's a Weezing you need on the bottom of your deck, you could play Dusk Ball. And if there's a Pokemon that you don't know what's on the bottom of your deck, no one played Iono, you're just doing general draw, Great Ball or Dusk Ball will get the job done. But since we have 7 Weezings in our deck, we should be pretty consistent on getting our Weezings out. Pair that with the 4 copies of Professor of Research and 3 copies of Rod, and well, I mean, you're kind of cooking with a deck like this. I mean, we're built for consistency. We're built to swing hard, swing fast, and take KOs where we need. So I definitely cannot wait to get into it with Team Rocket's Weezing and show off just how much damage this single prize menace can do. And before we hop into today's video, just wanted to remind everyone, if you haven't seen, we got the new Battle VIPs podcast YouTube channel, which is the home of the Draw Pass TCG team. A team of people that, I pretty much hand-selected at this point from the application process, and we're all coming together, getting some fun, informative, educational TCG videos out to help experienced and new players alike, as well as the Battle VIPs podcast, which is on that YouTube channel, as well as its own Spotify channel. So if you haven't checked out the podcast, which is done by myself and my best friend Avery, definitely go get on it, because that podcast is awesome. We talk about a bunch of meta decks, what's hot, what's new, what we think is going to take down, the next regionals coming up, we liked from the past regionals that happened, some of our favorite deck lists that made day 2, conversion rates, a whole bunch of stuff goes on the pod. Make sure you guys check it out. And yeah, with that being said, let's hop into today's video and see how well we can do with Team Rocket's Weezing. Welcome to match number 1. We open up with a mulligan while my opponent takes their sweet time to put a Pokemon in the active. I was going to say, I don't think both of us took mulligans. Prefer this. I kind of zoned out for a second for absolutely 0 reason. But we are going to get a good idea of what they're playing. We are going second, which I think is great with this deck since we are trying to go TM Turbo Energize. I'm totally revealing what I got going on, but that's fine in a deck like this. I'm really not sweating it too much. Curious to see what they're playing though. They got 3 Pokemon down on the bench instantly. And I've got one Koffing, but an amazing hand past that, honestly. And it is a ancient box with Monkey Dory. Okay, this is interesting. I was going to say maybe it's actually Raging Bolt, but the Monkey Dory throws that off. I was going to say maybe it's like a Roaring Moon box, but then the Koraidon throws that off? I don't know. I mean, I guess I could put Monkey Dory Fez, one of Koraidon for the electric attackers and jolting box. Probably a Roaring Moon EX deck. A match I definitely think we can take because that is a lot of basic EXs that are worth 2 prize cards and we can totally swing for enough damage for. We just need the right setup, and honestly, this hand kind of feels like it is that setup. Now, they can Unrelenting Onslaught for almost KO, so I don't want to Survival Brace my active. Honestly, I don't even know if I want to get it in play yet until I've got something fully evolved and ready to rumble. I think all I want to do is Buddy-Buddy Poffin and just take out all the Team Rocket's Koffings I can. I mean, I guess if they have, like, Boss's Orders, that would be really bad and kind of a waste of Survival Brace, but... yeah, no. I definitely hold it, so I got one in the active fully set up, and then I rip that. For now, we're just going to attach the energy to Koffing here, although I could research and try to dig harder for Turbo Energize. Like, I don't have to judge. My opponent has 5 cards in hand, but they really didn't do much. They do have 1 energy in the discard pile, so they could Sada next turn, which could be a little annoying, but they don't have a board state where Sada's too devastating. You know what? If they Sada, they're not bossing. We're going to Survival Brace here. We're going to rip the research. We're not going to judge. I was thinking about saving both of those, and now, yeah, we needed that research to draw right into Turbo Energize. We got a Koffing, which is always nice on the bench, and then I think we just rip the Turbo Energize here and see what we got going on. I'll take 2 energy, and we'll throw 1 on each Koffing here. So now I could Jet Pivot the Survival Brace one up. I can put the Jet on the active, start taking a KO. We have the wrong Weezing in hand, but not bad to evolve the only other Koffing that we have in play. And then I could Janine Secret Art, but honestly, with the setup like this, I mean, we play 4 Jets pivot between Weezings, and we've got so many energy down from the Turbo Energized, I'm totally fine ripping another Research, and I'm pretty confident I could draw into what I need. Now, my opponent can Unrelenting Onslaught, but that is not going to swing for KO. It's only going to do 60 damage with weakness, since one of their other ancient Pokemon did not attack last turn. In fact, this is going to be the first attack, and they won't be able to swing for more damage next turn because that's it's not an other ancient Pokemon. We need a Roaring Moon or something like that to swing here. So they'll be swinging for next turn 460, just like this. And because of their attack, we can Smog Signals and just guarantee we're KOing this thing as long as I can get a Team Rocket's Weezing in hand. So I think here we do get Rod, which is... I mean, it's kind of a shame, but it's not the end of the world. We'll Dusk Ball now, see what I get. And I get another Weezing. That's actually not the end of the world. Could definitely evolve 1 now. Because they attacked me and that put the Pokemon straight onto the bench, I can actually evolve a couple more of these guys. And then I think here, all I want to do is attach the energy to the active? Or do I do bench and just force them to deal with Survival Brace right now? Try to take in a KO. Let's do that. Why not? I am going to use the Rod and put 1 energy back in the deck. I know it's not helping too much, but I'm just going to rip a Research right after, so it's better than nothing. And hopefully I'll draw into my Team Rocket's Weezing, which we hit every single time here. So we'll evolve into this guy. We'll go Town Store. I don't really care if I give him more tools from here on out. I kind of want to just get the tools I need to play the game, which is really just going to be my Mochis in case I could pull a Janine's out of nowhere. So we'll get a Mochi down on this guy. I'll hold the Great Ball for next turn. There's absolutely no need to press it right now, and we'll just swing for 240 turn 2. And that's what I mean about consistency in this deck. It's actually unreal how good this deck is for, like, no reason. We just draw out all the Pokemon we need all the time. We've got good energy acceleration, great consistency. I know we could play, like, Team Rocket's energy. Honestly, I was considering it, but after playing my first game with it, I actually did have to use this Weezing's attack with Spitting Fumes and just get a whole bunch of damage kind of everywhere just because I didn't have my Team Rocket's Weezing in play, and then I couldn't do it. I had to use the Team Rocket's energy as just a regular attachment, and then I realized that was kind of a mess, and it just, I don't know. I was like, you know what? I don't ever want to be put in this scenario. Let me just play a whole bunch of Dark and Jet energy because the deck can function perfectly with just those, and then gives us options to some more kind of like, you know, out-of-pocket attackers. So my opponent is going to get the Roaring Moon EX down with the Charm, so we will potentially have to two-shot that guy. but I'm not too worried about that yet, especially when they just got one energy switch. If they want to one-shot this Weezing, they're actually going to have to Frenzied Gouging it, which feels awful. So we'll see what I can draw into next turn. But for now, oh, you know, Janine's Secret Art actually goes insane. We've got all three Weezings there. I think I do hold the Janines in a situation like this. I mean, yeah, there's no need to play it. I really want to get an evolution for this guy down, so I don't want to waste the Mochi here yet. Nor do I want to jet something else up to the active, which I'd then have to retreat to get this Weezing back. I think all I want to do is just explode together now for 480 damage, because we're like that. And we'll see what my opponent draws into. I don't even care I'm giving him access to Fez. This is the type of deck where it's just all gas, no breaks. We're going to swing every single chance we get with a no holds backs, and see what my opponent's got in store for us. And they've got 4 cards in hand. They can drop the 7 to flip the script. They need a Professor Sada's plus a manual attachment to get me a little bit worried. And then once all they could do after that is probably Calamity Storm, since they're not going to want to Frenzied Gouging. If they Frenzied Gouging, that is the fattest this Weezing that we've ever seen. And they go Janine's. Okay, a Janine's and a manual attachment would also get the job done, but it doesn't have the draw power of Sada. So again, not something I'm sweating too much yet. They won't poison themselves because of Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, and there is the Energy Switch. So since we dodged Brute Bonnet, they couldn't get a poison damage down. If we want to see a one-shot, they do have to Frenzied Gouging, and if they don't want to see a one-shot, well, I mean, we're fine, because they'll just Calamity Storm, we'll live, and then swing into them, and they are going to go the Calamity Storm. Survival Brace is going to take effect. I'm so happy we get to show this off, match number 1. Hopefully, when everyone is still tuned in and watching, that is top deck of the century. I think I do want to evolve this guy, just because I want to make sure that Monkey Dory does not get energy and KO this Koffing, take an extra prize card. That would be a little unfortunate. And then I can Mochi homie here. And do I need to swing 280? It really won't do anything. I think I just hold the Janines, and oh, you know, they actually could still take 2 prize cards this turn. That's fine, though, because they go Monkey Dory if they get the energy KO, the active. But then what happens is I promote the single prize Weezing, and if they attack, they might KO themselves. So then I'll force them to need a boss's orders as well. It actually puts them in a really funny spot, especially if they KO themselves, because then I'm going to jump so far ahead, it's actually not even funny. So again, 5 cards in hand, no access to flip the script this time, but that's fine, because I think we navigate this pretty well, just because we have Janine's and Jet, and we can pivot as we need, as well as Buddy-Buddy Poffin. I don't know if we have more Koffings in the deck, but it doesn't hurt to look, just so we can keep the max damage up. And there is the Night Stretcher to take an energy. They are totally going to go for that Monkey Dory KO, and I am going to be seeing if we could have a blast with the regular Weezing. And it is this play right here that makes this deck so funny. And no, they actually took the Koraidon out with Night Stretcher. They had Sada in hand, so they could get an extra energy down on Roaring Moon, as well as no. Wait, what? Did they just have 1 energy in there? I'm so lost. Why? They did not want the extra energy on Roaring Moon. They kept it in the discard pile, probably for Koraidon later. They're just most likely going to Calamity Storm here. I lied. There's the Vessel. They got the Monkey Dory out. Again, I hope they Monkey Dory my active. I want to give them single prize Weezing. I want to see if the coin is in our favor this match. If not, we'll just Jet KO. We'll still be up in the prize trade. I'm really not worrying about it. They could take their 2. I'll be up another 2 prize cards at the end of this turn. So, you know, we'll do exactly what we got to do. I could even go attack with this guy right here. You know, when we go Spinning Fumes. Because we would do 50 to the active. Oh no, we played our second Binding Mochi. I lied. I was going to say if we do 90, we actually would swing for enough. But we don't, so it's not the end of the world. We'll just throw this guy up. See if they want to go Calamity Storm. There's no Stadium to discard, which is actually... Oh my god, wait, there's no Stadium to discard. They don't even swing for enough. Oh my lord. There's no way. I didn't even think about that. I was like, oh, you know, they swing for KO. It's a Weezing. It's 110 HP. No, I forgot. If there's no Stadium, they do 100 damage. If they want to KO this big guy, they got a Frenzied Gouging, which means they got to KO themselves. Unless they have a Stadium in hand, which, by the way, they're sitting there doing nothing. It seems they'll actually have a way to get that Stadium because of Secret Box. And we'll see what else they grab. I would not hate a top deck Judge or Iono. just because we know they're not going to get value out of their supporter. They already played a supporter per turn. They get rid of Arven, Nestball, Dark Energy. I feel like I've seen a lot of supporters that are not Sada, which is kind of crazy, given this is most definitely some sort of Dark Ancient box. I feel like we definitely could have or should have seen a couple Sadas this game. But right now we're just sitting on... Oh, no, I guess there was 2 in a Janine's. Ah, yeah, that makes sense. I was going to say, I feel like there's only the 1. But I guess I forgot about a couple. And they do get the Stadium out. What else did they take out? They got a... Yeah, Sada, Ancient Boost Energy Capsule. E-Switch is an awesome card to get here. And they will KO Weezing. Will flip a coin with Let's Have a Blast. And we whiffed the KO. That is a shame, man. Oh, my God. That would have been... Honestly, I think if we KO'd them with Let's Have a Blast, they probably would have just conceded. Which would have been hilarious, but, I mean, hey, it's fine. It's whatever. Let's throw Weezing up. They did get rid of the Artisan, but I do have a Rod in hand, plus a Buddy-Buddy Poffin, so that always feels pretty good. And Janine, so I could get a whole bunch more energy down. For now, let's go Koffing, Team Rockets Koffing, and Team Rockets Weezing, just because I could fill up my whole bench again, and that probably feels best. Then I am tempted to Janine's, but I actually don't want to put more damage on my own Team Rockets Weezing, but I really don't mind having another energy in play, right? You know what I could do? I could Janine's to this guy and this guy, but then I lose access to Poison Effect with Binding Mochi, but I don't know if that ever becomes insanely relevant. I think in a match like this, we just go for energy. If they bulk up with Ancient Booster Energy Capsule, we're not going to do much to get around it. So I think, although you know what, they'll KO this guy anyways next turn, so I could just hold the Jet and go on these guys. Let's do that. Why not? We'll take 2 energy. I got 2 more in the deck plus a couple Jet. So we'll throw 1 here, 1 here. We will poison ourselves, proc Binding Mochi. Don't think it's really going to do anything. All I want to do is Great Ball, hit a Team Rockets Weezing literally every time. Literally every time. Zero worry, zero stress. Let's swing it to 80 just to prove how doable it is. KO my opponent's active, take another 2 prize cards, and I've got a phenomenal hand to carry me through the next turn. And I lied, actually, I have game in hand now. I was going to say possibly game. You know, if I could find boss or they put a 2 prizer in the active, something like that, you know, I could have fought for game. But now I get boss out of the prize cards. They're probably going to play Sada this turn. We saw it out of the secret box. So if they don't play Iono or Unfair Stamp, I guess we don't know what their ace spec is. I mean, you know, they could still do this. But all we're going to do is boss up this Pheasantipity, because I will take a KO on Pheasantipity every single chance I get, just out of principle. And they got the single prize Roaring Moon down as well. Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. Excuse me. I don't know where that yawn came from. I did not think I was super tired, but I guess I've honestly had a bit of a long week, so it makes sense that it's kind of catching up with me now. At the time of this recording, I am wearing my Knicks hat. The Knicks do play tonight, Saturday night. Huge Knicks fan. If you're from Indiana and you're a Pacers fan, actually don't talk to me. I don't know who you are. I don't even want to hear it. Knicks in 7, baby. For now, yeah, they just attacked. They played their Sada, no hand disruption. We're going to go in with an easy game in match number 1 against the Dark Box, which is honestly a super powerful deck right now. So the fact that we just walked through it this easily is hilarious to me. I mean, it just... I'm for real, if you're not up against... Like, if you could dodge Dragon Ball, we'd swing for 200. I do have Buddy-Buddy Poffin, so I could push the 240 in case everyone's like, oh, but, like, you know, if they didn't have this Petron, you wouldn't have won. No, that's not true. I had Buddy-Buddy Poffin to get there. This deck never misses. And I'll just take out the Roaring Moon just in case someone was wondering how we do that. I have no idea what I was saying. Game 1. Clips. We win these. I don't know. This deck is nuts. Deck is busted. New BDIF. This is a single prize menace. I'll see y'all in match number 2. Welcome to match number 2. We open up with, honestly, a pretty solid hand. I mean, sure, we don't have a guaranteed way to get Weezing down or really much else, but I got Turbo Energize. If my opponent bedews me, I go Smog Signals and get a bunch of Koffings again. This is exactly what I was talking about in the intro, about pure, utter consistency. Let's use Town Store first, grab the Energize, and then Dusk Ball. Just take 1 card out of the deck that I hopefully will not now draw into with Dusk Ball, and then we'll see what the vibe is here. Team Rockets Weezing, I think, is the Pokemon we have to go with. I really don't mind taking another Team Rockets Koffing, but with my opponent's start, I think I'd rather just put a bit more emphasis on getting more energy in play, even if it's not directly on a Team Rocket's Weezing, something like this. Like we could definitely get good damage down on, you know, do I even set up 2? I feel like because it's not Team Rocket's Weezing, I actually just go to set up 1. But anyways, as I was saying, we could get like good damage down on a Badoo or something. And oh my god, yeah, my Razer thing just popped up. What? Okay, I guess my Razer client for my mouse and keyboard had an update, so that's pretty cool. Sorry, that caught me off guard. It just like to my left is bright flashing lights all of a sudden. I'm like, wait, what is going on? Anyways, they're gonna go luxurious cape. Yo, stop playing, dog. Stop playing. Tell me I'm gonna one-shot this Badoo at some point. They got Dusk Claps. Oh. Do you use Dusk Claps now, or do you wait until you got Dusk Nor? I feel like you wait until you have Dusk Nor. That could be a problem, because Dusk Nor instantly KOs Weezing, so we have to wait until that thing is popped before I go Survival Brace. And oh my god, they're playing Dragapult, and they got rid of Stamp? Oh, this is going to be a nightmare of a match. We're about to see what a bad matchup for this deck looks like, and that's okay. I was really hoping, with me being pretty low in the ladder still, since the format is pretty new into Destined Rivals and TCG Live, that I wouldn't hit any Dragapults for at least 3 matches, but here we are, and we're 1 for 2 on hitting Dragapult. So this one isn't going to feel good, but my god, are we going to do what we can to get the job done. They did attack the active, so I do get smoke signals. And I think what I want to do is just go double Team Rocket's Koffing. I'm going to be losing a lot of Pokemon very quickly once they get evolved and get going. I need to try to be as aggressive as possible. That really doesn't help me much at all. I think I just Town Store just to keep some form of consistency going. And then, I mean, retreating doesn't even feel good. I could use Suspicious Gas and confuse their active and retreat, but I really don't want to waste the second energy if they have Rare Candy Evo. We're kind of cooked regardless, so I'll just call it a day and move on. But yeah, this is definitely not the most ideal thing in the world. Luckily, they evolve the one with the Luminous Energy into Dracoloak, and they have the Fire Energy down. Why did you not evolve the other one? Dude, if you got Rare Candy Dragon Ball, I would have been cooked. I guess they'll take a card off the top of their deck. Maybe? No, they have 2 Dracoloaks. Okay. They're going for the slower setup. Then they Iono me, which is fine. I mean, depending on the 6 I get, and I'm pretty confident I could get a good 6. Maybe I could get a little Boss KO on a Dracoloak with a couple energy. No, never that lucky. And I get 2 Weezings, which are not the Weezings I want, but I've also got Great Ball. I don't want to play Buddy-Buddy Poffin first. I don't want to shuffle the deck, because I guess there is one Team Rocket's Weezing on bottom. But I feel like the chances of us hitting a different Weezing are probably better. Although, if they attack me with Badoo... Oh, no, they could Dusk Nor and just KO my active Team Rockets. They say Dragapult. That's fine. You can keep that for next turn. Yeah, I got to get everything evolved and quick. And by everything, I mean these Koffings. Just so my opponent doesn't take 2 prize cards next turn. Ideally. But, of course, we'll see. They could get Dragapult here. Or Dragapult, Dusk Nor here. Evolve into that. Use that. But no, they just go for the Curse Blast. They're going to go for the KO of my active Team Rocket's Koffing, but they're going to give me a prize card in the process, which is not something that bothers me too much. I guess maybe I should have put the energy down, but you know what? They're going to take a KO here with Badoo, and then I'm going to search my deck for another Koffing, so that might actually work out some sort of weird way for me. And then I do have Janine's as well. So I could try to Janine's attach to a Team Rocket's Weezing and get myself set up a little bit better that way. I'm going to take a Koffing down, but that's probably just going to be a Phantom Dive KO, but that's okay. Won't be damage counters on a Team Rocket's Weezing, which means that Survival Brace might be a little bit more effective. So I think here, I definitely want to go for the 2 prize KO on Badoo, just because that feels amazing. And then we'll see what I could do with this hand. Now, I can't use any items. Oh, you know what? I can't use items. Oh my god, I should have just gone in with this guy. And just done spinning fumes, huh? I mean, I still could Janine's. Doesn't feel awful. Right? Because research wouldn't do me much good here at all. I kind of just need to retreat and just get some damage done with Weezing. So let's do that. All right, that was definitely a misplay on my end. I kind of forgot about the no items. I was expecting like a Great Ball into Weezing, Janine, you know, I don't know, figure something out. But I definitely did not think that through. We'll just get some extra energy down on Team Rocket's Koffing. We got 2 Dark Energy left. That's fine. I mean, one of these guys, actually, both of them should hopefully be all right this match. Because all I'm going to do is just retreat into this guy force my opponent to have a boss for KO, or they might KO themselves in attacking me, which I don't hate. And then we're also going to get some pretty good damage down everywhere on the board, which I don't think will be relevant, because I don't think I'm going to get 4 attacks with this Weezing. But in the off chance I do, I mean, we're all right. But yeah, I think my opponent is definitely going to look to go in with Dragapult EX this turn. And I just have to hope they don't have boss's orders to follow, and that we flip a heads. Because match number 1, we flipped a tails. That was the last time this ability was played, because it's been, what, maybe 6-7 minutes since then? I guess a little longer. It's about 6 minutes into this match. But yeah. I think we're due for a 1 coin flip. Now, what does my opponent have in store? I know they're sweating. Let's have a blast. It is an annoying ability to work around. Now, they could take 2 KOs if they do attack me, but then it would be like a Dusknoir sort of effect where they take 2 prize cards, where, you know, they KO themselves, they take a prize card. Here they could KO us and a single prize Koffing and KO themselves, but no, they're just going to pass. They don't even item lock. Oh, they're terrified. Oh, they're so scared. Okay, well, if that's the case, we Town Store to Thin. Again, I don't want Survival Brace down yet. I will, however, take a Mochi and throw that down on this guy here, just because it could totally be relevant. We rip a Rod first. Actually, no. Rip a Great Ball first. I like my chances right now of getting a Weezing. Wrong Weezing. But, you know what? That does stop a 2 prize KO without another Dusknoir, so it's not the end of the world. I like a research play here. So I think I do want to Rod in everything I can, just because we are a little light on energy too. I can jet this guy to the active. I can always retreat it. I don't mind giving him a single prizer, and even if I have to waste a Mochi, I waste a Mochi. You know, it's not the end of the world. If I need to retreat, I could retreat. I want to take 2 prize cards off Badu as soon as possible. I'm going to get another Team Rocket's Koffing down, just because they got 70 HP, and I'm fully evolved with my little Weezings, and I am still short. Team Rocket's Weezing. Yo, be for real. All right, Great Ball. What do we got? Thank you. Oh, my lord. That took an arm and a leg to figure out. You know what? I'm confident we'll hit another one on the bottom. No, we don't, actually. We hit all of our supporters. Definitely don't mind shuffling those back up. We do have a Jet Energy, which is always nice, but I am going to need a little bit more energy down on these Team Rockets guys, but Janine's Jet, we're golden. So we actually do have a decent setup. We'll just explode together now for KO on Badu, and see what my opponent's got in store for us. We'll take 2 prize cards. Now, they can Dragapult this turn, but Dragapult, as far as I'm seeing, will only take 1 KO. So I think next turn is the turn we want to... If we could get a Team Rocket's Weezing, what I would want to do is Janine to that Weezing, manual attach to that Weezing, Town Store Survival Brace, and leave that guy in the active to attack, because we're going to need a 2-shot, a Dragapult, and then boss up a single prize Pokemon like a Dreepy, Dracloak, or Duskull for game. Now, if they want to get around Survival Brace, they would have to use Duskull's ability, or put that Weezing on the bench, put the damage counters onto it, but regardless, we'd still be getting good value because that Weezing would still stay set up and take a 2-shot KO on my opponent's active. But I don't even know if they're there. I think they actually might have tabbed out, because at this point it's been a long time since they've taken an action. We do know that they did pass for turn last game when the Let's Have a Blast Weezing was promoted, and they didn't do anything. They just waited it through, gave it on over to us. There's the Dracloak in the active. Again, it's been enough time where that could have been automatically promoted, and my opponent has actually just closed out instead of hitting Conceit, which, I mean, would be annoying, but, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I respect it. You know, they're doing what they gotta do, and we'll wait and see if there's anything that's going to happen. If not, this game should be wrapping up in the next 10 seconds, and hopefully we'll be going 2-0 against this match. This is insane, because I feel like even if they item locked me there, I mean, actually, it would have been pretty relevant, because I wouldn't have been able to use that Great Ball, which got me Team Rocket's Weezing, but I wouldn't have hated the extra damage from the single prize Weezing in the active, and we would have just kept the Let's Have a Blast in play. Maybe could have eventually taken a KO on Badu when they retreated it to the bench with the bench damage done. I don't know. I think it's uncertain to say how this match would have went, but I think we were actually in a pretty good spot to keep the ball rolling, get us a match number 2 win, and yep, our opponent was active for too long. Regardless of how it played out, we still came up on top. Guaranteed positive record achieved. Let's hop into match number 3 and see if we can close out the perfect record for Team Rocket's Weezing. Welcome to match number 3. My opponent leads Mimikyu, which is going to be the opposite of a problem for this deck, since we have absolutely no Pokemon EX or V in our deck, since the V's are rotated and the EXs are not Weezings or Koffing, so I really don't care about them. I'm just thinking out loud now though, if we ever get a Weezing EX, this might become BDIF. This deck is nuts. And like, the more I play it, I mean, yes, I understand it's a meme deck. It's sure, whatever. It's just so much fun. And it's actually an Ethan's Typhlosion deck, which, you know what? I think we honestly have a fine matchup into. Although they only need 1 energy to set up. They are a stage 2 deck, and we only need 2 energy to set up, but we are a stage 1 deck. I feel like with the amount of energy acceleration we have, it's actually pretty easy for us to get the ball rolling pretty quickly. I think here all I want to do, get 2 energy down. With the Team Rocket's Koffing, I don't mind playing Survival Brace now on a benched Koffing, and then ripping a Research. I just kind of want to guarantee the best setup I can right now. If I could get Turbo Energize, which I can off the Town Store, we're sitting pretty. And I even got a Buddy-Buddy Poffin, which I could use now. Keep this Koffing in hand, just so I could thin 2 more out of the deck, because we've got, yeah, we got multiple Koffings left. Let's do it. So let's get the Energize here. We'll go Buddy-Buddy Poffin right now, and I just want to take a couple more Koffings out of the deck, so the deck's a little thinner, and then we'll get energy out of the deck, so that's a little thinner, and then the Great Ball should have the best chance of hitting Weezing, specifically Team Rocket's Weezing's next turn. So we'll get some energy smacked down here. I've got Jet Energy, Great Ball, and another Koffing in case there's a KO, as well as Janine Secret Art Research. This might be one of the best starts I've ever seen with this deck. And that being said, I feel like we've achieved this, what, like 2 out of the 3 games here. I've probably played this deck like maybe 5 or 6 times. Actually, probably 7 or 8, because this is match number 3. I did play this deck a little bit more before I started recording, just because I was talking with a couple of my buddies in Discord on the Draw Past TCG team, having some fun running it, and like, again, like, we're a competitive Pokemon team. That does not mean we don't just hop in a, like, you know, call on like a not designated practice time and have a bit of fun running some meme decks, just messing around, still appreciating the game for what it is. And I have to say, this deck is really one of the most fun meme decks I've seen in a while. And they're playing Ethan's Slugma as well, so they've got a solid Ethan's box lined up for us in match number 3. And I am going to waste no time getting active, getting aggressive. We're going to get a Weezing off the Great Ball to evolve into. I could Janine Secret Art. Don't totally feel that's necessary. I don't also really know if a Research is necessary either. This could totally just be a hand we sit on. But why would I do that when I could Research, dig deeper, and just set myself up even more? I mean, another Great Ball, another Nest Ball, some more energy to play with. We got another Koffing. Give me the Team Rocket's Weezing. We had access to both Weezings there. And again, this is why we play Great Ball and Dusk Ball. Does it guarantee, like 100% guarantee a Weezing, especially the one we need? No, not necessarily. But do we hit Weezings super consistently with it without discarding cards from our hand? Yes, absolutely. So now we can just keep everything in our hand to swing super effectively, swing super efficiently, and y'all are going to watch a massacre in this match number 3, because I'm about to steamroll my opponent's setup if they cannot get their ball rolling soon. And somehow this is the same exact hand as last turn, just with like an extra Dark Energy and Buddy-Buddy Poffin. Like, you can't make this up. This deck takes consistency to another level. If like Dragapult ever disappears from the format, I'm not even joking, I feel like you have to consider this deck, and boom, that's going to be a quick, easy match number 3, Weezing. That's how we do it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I definitely enjoyed cooking this deck up, getting it out there for you guys. I'm having a ton of fun in the Destined Rivals format, so if there's any decks you guys want to see, anything you got your eyes on, please let me know. I do have a small list of decks of stuff I did prepare for when the set came out, but I'm always open to some fun creations. And of course, check out the Battle VIPs Spodcast and YouTube channel, the Spotify, or I was going to say Spotify and YouTube channel, Spotify for the podcast and YouTube for all the other series that the Draw Pass team is cooking up for y'all. With that being said, I hope you guys are doing amazing. My name is GinJTCG, and I hope you guys are doing awesome. Stay epic. Peace.